This episode of the Occasional Podcast is brought to you by the LSA Group, the new high-end, high-value speaker standard, and also CorePower, state-of-the-art power at real-world prices. Today's episode is also brought to you by Audio Research Corporation. Since 1970, Audio Research has remained dedicated to the advancement of state-of-the-art in music reproduction and was the pioneer of the high-end audio revolution and owner of the high-definition trademark. Enjoy music the way it was truly meant to be heard with Audio Research. Visit audioresearch.com to learn more. Hey guys, welcome to this, the episode number 2, season 3 of the Occasional Podcast. We are fresh back from Rocky Mountain Audiofest, and Scott and I had a chance to give you all the highlights from the most recent show in Denver, Colorado. It was a great show, and we got a lot to get through, so we're going to get right to it. Here's the interview with Scot Hull of PartTimeAudiophile.com and myself, straight from Rocky Mountain Audiofest. Enjoy. Warming it up. I think I got Scott on that one.
I know who you have coming in doing these with you, and I just wonder if this is what you did with the president of Sonus Faber.
No, I didn't say. I did not tell a dirty limerick to the president of Sonus Faber, Scott. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. A little sing-song intro for you, because today the magnificent, the wonderful Scot Hull of Part-Time Audiophile with us in the house, but really it's the front part of a suite of a hotel room in Denver, Colorado. The wonderful, the magnificent Gaylord Resort. Let me just tell you something, people. This thing has a lazy river. Scott, all weekend, if he seems a little short, it's because I saw him with a martini floating in a unicorn-shaped inner tube up and down the lazy river all weekend.
You weren't going to tell anyone about that.
I'm sorry it was supposed to be your little secret, but I had to open with some truths. And this is my truth. The man loves a martini and a unicorn floaty.
It's actually root beer float. Did you know that they gave those away? No. Did you know that they were having free root beer floats? I have not yet gotten one of these. I'm very disappointed.
I have to return that with a question. Is there anything more delicious than a root beer float? It's like the most magnificent idea ever. So without further ado, folks, as you may or may not know, when it comes to these recap videos, we like to kind of do a top 5 format, which is going to lay down a platitude, a ton of great info about what happened at the show, what things kind of sounded like, what our in takeaway, and what our beautiful, beautiful room sounded like. To kick it off, it was a 3-day event. We had a media day this week on Thursday weekend in Denver, Colorado. So, Scott, what did you kind of think about the hotel overall?
I think it's incredible. We're talking about a sprawling complex that may well be the size of Rhode Island. I mean, going from one corner to the other. Not only are you going to get your 10,000 steps, but you get it like before noon. It's ridiculous how big this place is. And it, kind of like the Schaumburg Hotel or Conference Center for the Expono show, right? This is it's sprawling. It can accommodate a lot of things. And as we saw on day 1, there was at least 2 other shows going on in this hotel, and no one knew. There was no crossover. No, this place is enormous, is what I'm trying to say. Just enormous. We can grow this show. The Rocky Mountain Audio Show, we can grow this 3 times the current size, up to way over 200 rooms, and the hotel would maybe burp. I mean, there would be nothing that it would have to change. It's impressive, and it's actually a really nice venue.
It is a nice venue. Multitudes of restaurants.
And they don't suck.
No, they're not that bad. And I was actually shocked at the number of bars. Every restaurant has a bar. There's an upstairs and a downstairs bar for the sports bar. There's just a lot of drinking.
I am not sure what they're trying to say. I heard a joke, and I'm going to attribute it back to Angela Cardis of Cardis Audio. Right, being in Denver just is the only place I've ever been where just trying to breathe is like a full-time occupation. It's very difficult. So you're told to drink, right? Stay hydrated, but I'm not sure that, beer and martinis and wine was really what they had in mind. Let's just say there was a lot of extra bang for the buck happening at all of the bars.
Yeah, and we did get a chance to sample some High West. If you guys haven't tried the High West bourbon, what'd you think?
Double rye, baby.
Double rye, yeah.
Nice big rock on that one. I was very impressed. I may have to go look for that one.
So, the top 5 from Eric, the magnificent Franklin Shook, Elsa Vox, the loudspeaker company, Omega Audio Concepts, and the Red Rock 5. Number 1.
That was their number 1 pick. I'm going to trust them on this one. This is one of the ones that it's still on my list to go see, but it was, to all reports, there were only a few screaming and flaming people running from this room.
Okay. Scott, number 2, Scott Walker, Synergistic Research. Always a good room from Scott.
Scott Walker does nice work, and Synergistic, the pairing there, they spend an enormous amount of time tweaking and tuning, and the result is almost always great, not just good. It was nice to hear.
Number 3, NOLA and VAC.
NOLA brought the Grand Reference Gold version 2 at $250,000 a pair, and then ran that with VAC. And it's these speakers are enormous, and created a wall of sound that was kind of baffling for a room that size. It was awesome.
Could have fronted a Grateful Dead concert. Now this one, my man, with well-pleased AEV as a new distributor, Vinny Rossi and his new integrated on display. And the speakers are kind of special, Scott. Have you heard these guys before?
QLN. This is a slightly upscale version of the speakers we heard at the last show. I don't know why they sound this good. I'm assuming it's probably good design. But the pairing with Vinny Rossi, this is one of the early experiences I had at the show, and a top contender for sure.
The surprise and the chatter of the show, at least for the personal audio guys and others, this is kind of a surprise. Sony itself, Sony Electronics, Sony Audio, showed up and had a surprise near-field monitor. I guess part of the surprise was the price, which the official recount from the manufacturer was under $10,000. Rumors swirled that it was $8,500. Do not quote me on that. That is not a promise. I'm going to stick with the official word of under $10,000, but I did get a chance to hear it. They're very kind to me by letting me have like a shut the door kind of listening thing all by myself, talking to me through the process. And I will say that they are an amazing soundstage, amazing detail, but the bar is, I got to be honest, really high with a $10,000 pair of, bookshelf-ish. I mean, it fits on a desktop. It's not very tall. It's not very big. Surprisingly, they had a line array set up for the tweeters, which I thought was very surprising. 3 tweeters on each side, vertically aligned, and that kind of supplied a lot of the treble detail. And the overall presentation was dimensional and holographic. But I found that it sounded best if you were like very, very close. So it's a very unique, weird thing with a high standard that it has to meet. That's kind of where I land on it. But it's fun. It was good, and it was way different from a lot of things you see here.
It was a good demo. All inclusive, had all kinds of bits to it. Preamp, amp, streaming, everything included.
Oh, wait, I forgot the most important thing. There's a digital to analog knob, where you go from something that sounds digital. This is what he told me, at least. We did not turn the knob. And then you turn the knob and it's supposed to sound more analog. I don't know what that even sounds like.
I don't know. But still, we're looking forward to seeing this. I can't believe that the engineering team at Sony got away with the ability to put this product out. Yeah. That the corporate overlords didn't just shut them down for wasting money or whatever, but they did it. They have a cool little product that the engineers just kind of, I think, ran out of the design room without telling anybody, and it's cool.
Mark Phillips, top 5.
So yeah, Mark, he calls up Joseph Audio, the new Pearl speakers, version 3. using the graphene drivers paired with Doshi audio. Analog coming from new turntable maker J. Sakura. Cardis Audio providing all of the cables. And on the digital side, there was a brand new reference DAC version 3 from Berkeley Audio and a new Arender, the W20 SE. I heard the digital side, Mark heard the analog side, and we both came away with the same feeling that this is easily one of the best rooms at the show.
Mark's number 2 room 10125 MoFi.
So yeah, MoFi was showing a variety of different things. What I really kind of pulled out of that room with the Falcon acoustics and stuff was this new turntable from Dr. Chris Fikert. It's the Volare. It's the entry level, if you will, turntable. It's affordable-ish, but for this level of performance, this is extraordinary. It's available with a tone arm from Thomas Schick. Schick is a kind of cult leader, I guess. I mean, these tone arms are totally on the DL, but they are incredibly good and still affordable. Seeing them being repped by MoFi, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting this particular turntable in and exploring it. So that was really cool for me.
Also on display, I think it's very honorable mention would be the Linton loudspeakers by Wharfdale. They have like a heritage or
they do have this heritage look. I think they actually call it heritage.
And they are like a budget darling. Like I love that word. They're budget darling. And they were telling me that they can't even keep these guys in stock. So people are snapping up them. And it's not a vinyl wrap on those guys. It's actually real wood.
Yeah.
For like $1,000 a pair. You throw the stands in, it's like another 200-ish, and the stands you can stack the records in. Super fun, well thought out. If you're looking for a vintagey kind of look, it's wonderful.
And the sound is great. I mean, and finding affordable audio, and affordable being relative, but these have a great look. They have a great sound. Again, another big hit from MoFi. So another surprise for me, Mactone, a Japanese electronics manufacturer. They've been doing this for many decades, but new to me. Mark and I saw them with In Living Stereo. And in this room, he had a preamp and a phono and an amplifier. It has this kind of vintage Luxman look to design with kind of like gold or champagne kind of coloring to it. Reminds me of some other brands out there. But the point of it is this stuff is it's tube, it's bespoke. It looks like somebody actually put a lot of love into it. The resulting sound with Trenor and Friedel speakers was lovely, just lovely. And it was one of those experiences where you say, okay, yeah, I'm happy. I'm done. This will be it. It was good. That was a really good show.
Number 4 for Mark. Prana Fidelity. I discovered this brand earlier this year at the show and was floored by the quality of Stephen Norber's $8,750 pair of speakers. His active 10.8A speakers at just under $35K were revelatory. Even when the source was CDs played on an old Pioneer Elite PD 65.
Norbert's been doing great work. It's just a thing. It's one of those hidden secrets. It's one of the reasons why we go to audio shows is to come see what he's doing. I think it's great.
Also, number 5 for him, and I think we all kind of fell into line with this one, is Sonus Faber. No, actually, I learned this week, not Faber. That's it's Faber. So just in case you're running Sonus Faber, like a key fob, basically. FYI, people, Sonus Faber. And there is a new Olympica Nova line. And guess what? If you guys want to see a review, a brand that's making new review of the smaller bookshelf version of this, guess where you can find it? Where can we find it, Scott?
PartTimeAudiophile.com.
And it was good. Mark did a great job with it. I love that review. We just got to listen to everything from the floor all the way up to the floor center. So it is a full line of one of their more popular lines.
Actually, it may be their popular line. But the cool thing for this brand has always been lifestyle and not like, cheap trash lifestyle, but aspirational lifestyle. Your life will be better with these kind of products, right? It's you growing up and what do you aspire to? That's what Sonus Faber puts together. These speakers are beautiful, Brian. I mean, you want to touch them and they're just lovely. They're just lovely.
Also of note, they are modeled after instruments. And this was a really fun thing I found out. Stringed instruments. And that's why the grills are actual like strings, because they're supposed to mimic the design of a really great instrument. I was like, that's brilliant. I never knew that. Fun.
Yeah, they call the design, when you look top down on some of these speakers, they call it lute shape. This one particular, this line, it's totally asymmetrical. So there's no convergence, and that's for good sound quality. And I think that they also get some just sheer elegance. Nothing they're doing is simple, straightforward, or easy. This all looks like they really care. And when you have it in your room, I think that not only comes through, but it makes you kind of say, well, you know what? Now I care too. Have your high-end audio and eat it too, or at least have it look like $1 million. I think that this speaker is a great move in that direction.
Scott, can you do like a breaking news ticker sound for me? It sounds like rats crawling through the wall, but you get the idea, folks. We do have a new one. This was something that broke this week. I got the pleasure of visiting Focal in an off-site meeting where they revealed the Chora line. And this, for those guys who are also looking for budget options, is a line for the pair, runs between $1,000 for the bookshelf all the way up to $2,000 for a 3-way floor stander. It's a new line. And it is very interesting. They played it in a restaurant.
Did they?
It was in a restaurant. And the guys were really funny about it because they did say, like, hey, guys, this is the greatest recording studio ever. It was basically a glass cube. But it's still, from where I was standing, far off center. I couldn't do a ton with that. But what I did hear was detail.
Delicious.
For the price point, I heard detail.
Creamy.
I forgot. This is my list. There we go.
So there's this next thing. Yeah.
There's the next thing that I did get a chance to hear the new Inuos Phoenix USB reclocker, $30,150.
It's a regenerator.
Yeah, regenerator and a linear power supply. They played me some Wilco, this song Jesus, and it had really interesting effect. I found it to be more organic, a little bit smoother, less of that digital edge, but still dimensional and lifelike. Actually, the one thing that was really weird is I felt like as I listened to it, it went a deeper stage, so more dimensionality when they added the reclocker. But then they also upgraded to the Statement, their large product, and I heard even more width. So basically, what the takeaway is, new USB clocker plus Zenith MK3 is not the Statement. I think the Statement still performs that, but it's quite a bit more. So this is for one of those people who have the Zenith or even other products, and they want to just kind of spruce it up a little bit. I heard a difference. Sorry for the guys who don't believe in that kind of thing, but I thought it was quite wonderful.
It was cool. It was a convincing demo. I mean, I've seen major leaps and bounds from one demo level to another, and that's very cool, but this was more subtle, but at the same time, totally discernible. Yeah, it's going from the basic Zenith to the Zenith plus Phoenix, and then from both of those to their Statement product. It's one of those, just take my money. I mean, these people are not fair. It shouldn't matter, and it totally does. And I just need to send them more money.
Primavera MoFi, that room, that's number 3 for me, and I just wrote here, it bumped and thumped and surprised. It was good. The medium-sized room had a nice, powerful, thumpy sound. I like the bass control there. And that's not an easy thing to do in a room you've never been before, like a hotel room of a conference center. I got a chance to visit, for number 4 for me, the Shit Room with Sulk. They had their new DAC going there, and I thought it sounded really good and smooth. And the new DAC was not the top of the line one. It was actually the newest one they did. They redid the USB on it, and it had a very nice smooth sound. And for the middle of the road, I was kind of impressed. Sock, always a good sound there as well. And then for me, number 5 again, I'm going to go back to the Sonus Faber. Tasty. What do you got, Scott?
I got a couple of things. So the first thing that really kind of turned my crank totally over, if you will, was the YG VTL and Nordost demo. This is Statement level equipment. The whole room probably cost about $1 billion. But this
$1 billion?
$1 billion. But the soundstage was incredible. And it's kind of why do you go to an audio show? Well, I mean, you want to meet people, you want to see stuff, maybe you're even doing a little shopping, but every now and again, you get to wander down fantasy lane and go to that experience that kind of resets what's possible in high-end audio. This was astonishing. So that was a great demo. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Joseph Audio, Doshi, Berkeley Audio, J Sakura room. That was great too. It's another experience. I very much enjoyed the Vinny Rossi QLN demo. The NOLA experience was really great. So the other stuff right in there, I actually had a great experience with Sim Audio and Bowers and Wilkins, right? B&W's got a couple of things that they're doing, including some cool, weird textured sound bar or little tabletop systems. And they sound great. Bowers and Wilkins has also some fully powered speakers that are completely wireless, no wire between them. And they sound phenomenal. I'm looking forward to hearing a lot more about that. My buddy Mohammed Samji has a pair of them now. Hopefully we'll be seeing a review about that in the future. Tabletop Audio, Technics also has a new tabletop system. Looking forward to hearing more about that, hopefully getting one of those in. I think tabletop apparently is a new growth opportunity. You're starting to see all-in-one systems from not just Technics or B&W or Name. More and more companies are doing this. I think this is lifestyle, but may not necessarily be hi-fi. But I think today, the sound quality available in these systems it's better than it's ever been. I think and the last thing that kind of caught my eye in that kind of category was Andover Audio, which has got a turntable set in a plinth with speakers attached to it, LP cabinet attached to that, and a subwoofer attached underneath the cabinet. It's just so elegant, this kind of tall tower all-in-one system. Again, die-hard hi-fi enthusiasts who own Wilson Audio and D'Agostino amplifiers are not going to be selling all of that to go get these systems. But when you're talking about like an office system or something small, you can still have great sound. And I think that's really great news for all of us.
Not to leave out personal audio, of course. There was a closed back headphone. I think we mentioned this in the last episode as well. From ZMF Headphones was a new reveal. The Verte closed back. That's a flagship for him, folks. That was a great one. Our friends Astel and Kern had their full line of, always fun with the DAPs there. We got a chance to stop by Periodic Audio. They had their full lineup of different material drivers in kind of the same outfit for an IEM, and their new nickel amplifier, which the claim is that the cell phones don't really have that bad of a DAC chip, but if you can clean up the headphone amplifier, and this thing's an external just straight plug-in, you can take some of the stress off and get better sound simply by replacing or supplementing the headphone amplifier, and that's the nickel amplifier. So all that stuff's really fun. They developed a really nice switchboard where you can just go boop, 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 boop through all their headphones and do like a nice AB. And let me tell you, I like a nice AB. So that is it. Nice, quick, slimy.
Now, this was a great show. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about whether or not this show would be a hit. We had an incredible amount of foot traffic. I was not expecting that. The show, I think, exceeded expectations, especially those people who said that this was very worrisome, that it was going to be at a new venue, maybe more expensive, maybe more remote. But the point of it is, it's new. We don't want to go. I'm scared. And I think that those people who said that will be looking at next year and coming. I think the people who turned it down are sad. This was a great show. I had a great time. This is a good venue. Yeah. And I'm happy to be here. I'm hoping we will all come back. Maybe next year we're all going to, bring bathing suits and enjoy the lazy river and some root beer floats. I
agree. The venue itself is a lot of fun. The convention center side is also a thing. I mean, it makes a difference. It makes it feel like a nice big event with a lot of space, a lot of rooms to breathe. It's not just a hotel converted, and the hotel room, it's fresh. It's kind of like you see it from the highway and it's some miles away from everything else. But the restaurants here, there's a good supply of options. And we went into Denver, and Denver's lovely too. So there you go.
See you next year. This has been a great venue. It's one of my favorite shows. I'm hoping that you will do your best to get yourself to one of these shows sometime in the near future. And if you do, look for Brian. Look for me. Look for whoever. Stop, say hey, introduce yourself. We're always happy to expand the circle. look forward to seeing you at one of these shows.
And to whoever found my camera in the bathroom and brought it to Lost and Found instead of stealing it, God bless your beautiful soul.